Welcome to the newest episode of 60 Card Bricks, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. My name is Carlos.
And I'm Ty.
In this episode, we'll discuss the latest Yu-Gi-Oh news for the week of August 12th through the 19th, 2018, and discuss the OCG and TCG Metagames. Enjoy the show.
It's time to
You can buy a single of that card for like 50 cents on Amazon.
Don't worry, I believe in the heart of the cards.
All right, so starting off, the first thing we got is some partial reveals for some new cards out of Savage Strike, which is going to be the main set after Soul Fusion. And there's some hints at some big ones here, Ty. There's some big stuff. We have a new pot card and a new solemn card. So I guess we can start with the pot card because there's a lot of theories. All we know is that the picture and that it's clearly a pot card. So what are you thinking that this is? Because there's a lot of theories based just solely on the artwork, and I'm curious to see if you have any.
Yes, the artwork of this new pot card seems to be a combination of two already existing pot cards, which are Pot of Greed and Pot of Riches. Pot of Greed, everybody knows, draw two cards. And Pot of Riches, its effect is shuffle 3 pendulum monsters into the deck from your graveyard or face up from your extra deck, then draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 Pot of Riches per turn. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this card, except by Pendulum Summon. First of all, it's a fusion pot card of 2 +1 pot cards. So it's safe to say that at resolution of this new pot card, it's going to be a +1 in card economy.
Yeah, you're going to be drawing 2 here. So
yeah,
a lot of people are theorizing maybe it has something to do with the extra deck, like banishing cards from the extra deck. I think that would be kind of crazy unless it has some sort of restriction on it, like Pot of Riches does, where you can only pendulum summon, or I don't know what would fit into, what kind of restriction do you think it could have if it is as simple as banishing cards from the extra deck?
I honestly think it has to be you cannot summon card from the extra deck or like just banish your whole extra deck.
Yeah.
I can't think of, maybe you can special summon a card from your extra deck this turn, but then that would just straight be a buff
crazy.
for anti-meta decks,
Yeah.
like Demise deck that don't care about the extra deck.
Exactly. I mean, maybe just another, because we have a couple that say, Pot of Duality says you can't special summon, maybe, but even that wouldn't, like, it would still be abused in decks like you're saying. Like, I'm just having True Draco. Like, yes, give me that card in True Draco, please. So I don't know. I'm hopeful for this card. Like, could it be as impactful as Pot of Desires? But I don't know. I mean, I have a bad feeling this is going to have some crazy restriction on it, no matter what it is.
Wow, the good thing is that all the combined pot cards in the game are all like weaker than the best counterpart that makes them. Which, I mean, when you're comparing to Pot of Greed, like every single card's going to be worse.
Yes.
But still, if it's like you said, like can special summon, then True Draco would actually love it because they can play a whole extra deck for, depending on the restriction and the cost, of course, but they can play extra deck for Cherry's target. And if they draw this card, they can just banish it and then, let's say, banish your whole extra deck. Then you can actually take advantage of cards like Monarch's, what is it?
Monarch's Erupt.
Yes, you can actually take advantage of those, which is insane. But
yeah. Do you think that there's any, because Pot of Riches is the other card that is on the picture, right? You said, and that's the pendulum one. Is there any way they tie this into link summoning, like Pot of Riches was tied into pendulum summon?
Banish 10 linked monsters, draw 2 cards. I mean, I can't think of a way of a restriction for the extra deck that this card's going to be fair and balanced and doesn't like actually just benefit anti-meta decks.
It's true. Yeah. So are you leaning towards this is going to be just another unplayable pot card, or are you leaning towards this is going to be a broken one?
I mean, I'm thinking perhaps like in the middle pack. Well, no, for pot cards, there's not
There's
really
not
a
really.
middle pack.
It's either unplayable,
It's playable or unplayable,
or
correct?
broken. Yeah.
Not really sure. I think it will. I think it will be playable in some strategy though. It all depends on the restriction.
Yeah.
And
I'm leaning towards this is gonna be rather unplayable, except for in
Okay.
extremely niche situations and decks. So I want this to be a good card, but I'm not super
Yeah.
hopeful. So,
Alright.
moving on to the Solemn card.
yes. Well, saying this is a solemn card, but it's more correct to be a solemn theme card, as this might be the solemn stopper.
Interesting.
Because artwork-wise, like it's almost like a reverse solemn strike, where the god is pointing the finger, and then the lightning is towards the girl, and
Yeah.
now it's like the lightning is being pointed towards God. And the girl in the artwork is, if you guys know the forbidden quick play spell, forbidden dress, forbidden like something else. Dress is like the most important one, but yeah, she's the girl in that series, and she's condemned by God in the Solemn series, Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. You can all see. And because of that, she turned into a witch, and the card is called Condemned Witch. We actually haven't gotten this card yet, but we will get this card soon in Soul Fusion.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's a support to the forbidden quick play spell card. She can add one of them to the hand. This seems to be like a reverse solemn theme card. And it's very interesting because that's so specific that I don't really know like what effect it could be to make this card like playable.
Exactly. Like if it's as like on the nose as the picture would like lead you to believe, that it literally, like, what if it was negate a solemn card, or
It will be unplayable.
exactly, like that doesn't do anything.
But what if it's negate any trap cards as a counter trap cards, but then it has a clause of if a solemn card is being activated, if this card is activated in response to a solemn card, you can activate this from the hand.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that. Now I'm like hoping that's what it is. It probably won't be, but
Because like it would actually see plays with like evenly match, red reboot, trying to not to get OTK and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it would actually see plays, and it would have the niche anti-solemn thing of being able to activate from the hand.
I actually really like
Yeah.
that. That would be really cool. Do you think that would impact the game enough where people don't play solemn cards as much?
Solemn
they're-
cards are
they're
already
already,
being
yeah.
forgotten quite a bit.
In the current meta, at least.
Yeah, but I know if the effect is only negated trap card and it's a counter trap, like it's already really nice index like Alter Guys,
Yeah.
where you just feared of red reboot, and it's basically going to be a better wiretap,
Yeah. Hopefully.
hopefully.
We will see. We will see. There's two more cards that got full reveals, and we aren't really going to touch on them too much. There's a Synchro Summon Skull.
Yeah, it's really
It's
bad.
terrible.
It's terrible.
There's some new zombie support that's pretty bad.
Hey, the Vendra support is
yeah,
pretty
we'll get
nice.
to the Vendred one is actually pretty good. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Sure. The Vended one is it's a generic link 2 for zombies, as it only needs 2 zombie monsters. Basically, when it's on the field, it becomes a Revendered Slayer. Second effect, you can target a Vendered card in the graveyard, add it to your hand, which is really nice. And then finally, if it battles an opponent monster during damage calculation, you can send a zombie monster from the deck to your graveyard and make your opponent monster lose attack equal to the level times 200 until the end of this turn. So the utility-wise, this card is amazing. It synergizes well with Ventress because of the name. Immediately add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand, so that's a plus on summon. And finally, the ability to just send Mizuki from the deck and decrease by 800 to your opponent monsters. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it has to do it in battle, it's okay. But it definitely does have some utility and could see some one-of play at least in zombie decks in general. So
Yeah, it's a generic, so
yeah, exactly. All right, moving on to OTS 8. We got some. I think this is a little bit making up for the rather niche
OTS 7, Ultimate Link Spider,
Ultimate Link Spider,
Ultimate
praise.
Hero. The War Chalice hype was too much.
Apparently, so the ultimate rares in OTS 8. These are spoilers, but they are. I mean, they're confirmed. Well, like we know.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Yeah. Droll and Lockbird, Sky Striker, Ace Kagari, and Scapegoat are all ultimate rares.
I don't think they made these are all really amazing card choice.
Yes.
I have a problem with Draw though because it already has an OTS printing in the first one as a super, but I mean, if this is a sign for things to come, I don't mind this card getting banned.
Me either. So yeah,
that and Scapegoat could, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I think these are all great choices.
Overall, amazing choices.
Definitely. Moving on to the super rares, we have Ruin, Supreme Queen of Oblivion, Demise, Supreme King of Armageddon, Twin Triangle Dragon, Underclock Taker, that's a good one,
Yes.
Machine Dupe, interesting, Broken Bamboo Sword, Space Gift, Secret Village of the Spellcasters, why? Waking the Dragon, and a Sky Striker token. It's cool. I like that they're doing the token in there. That's pretty cool. There's definitely a lot in here. Underclock was so deserving.
Yes, we have been like campaigning for this for a long time.
Yes. Broken Bamboo Sword, that one makes sense because they just reprinted all of that engine, or not all of it?
They print Super's Golden Bamboo Sword in Shadow of Valhalla.
Yeah. Secret Village of the Spellcasters.
It's really good because like even the commons are like $2.
Yeah.
And having a super printing is good because of the Outer Guys hype.
Waking the Dragon.
I like it. I really like it. The card is niche, but it's amazing when pulled off.
Oh, when you pull it off, it feels so good to pull off. So yeah, that definitely was a deserving one.
Shout out to
well.
AJ.
Yeah. All right. So commons, we have Invader of Darkness, Ritual Raven, Ojama Red, Artifact Morotak, Twilight Ninja Gestuga of the Shogun,
Something.
Wind Witch Snowbell, Wind Witch Icebell, Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, Axe of Fools, Neospace, Ninjutsu Art Notebook, Nutrient Z,
whatever.
Yeah, Nutrient Z, Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell.
Yeah, there are some good things in here, like the Wind Witch engine, just to make sure like it's really going down.
Yeah.
Morotak is a very good print because it only has like 2 printings, and it's all kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But then the artifact engine these days, if it's played at all, is only 3 Sanctum and 1 Scythe to lock the extra deck out. So it might not be that impactful. Divine Sword, okay, like making it a super so that it's a common. My bad. So
what's the point?
I don't know.
It's gonna get banned, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it is.
Because thing is, okay, off topic, but you don't need it to do the full Goki combo.
Yeah, no.
So it'll be like okay, like I'm not getting plus. I'm not drawing more cards, but it's like. It doesn't stray from the main game plan.
I guess.
I'm not opposed to it though.
Yeah. This gives me. I really want to talk about the Wind Witch for a second here. I know you're getting a little off topic, but I just want to mention it because. Do you think this engine is ever going to
resurgence?
Yeah.
To have a resurgence? It's hard to say because in the Link era, its restriction, first of all, is like so much.
Man.
You have to have no monster, and then after that, you cannot special summon anything but win from the extra deck. So
but
basically,
wind of a certain level. So can you even?
Yes, and like Crystal Wing is not even good anymore because you can negate things without level, and everybody's playing 10, 15 Links monster these days. So I mean. sure, it's indestructible, but like, hey, Nightmare Unicorn, goodbye.
Yeah, it's just
It's not good.
it,
It's still good in casual decks and some strategy, legitimately, like Dark Magician, like where they don't need the normal summon. It's still good in there, but I mean, for competitive play, I
Yeah.
don't think it will
which I
make
guess
a resurgence.
then in that sense, then it's really good that they're making this engine very accessible because if competitive people aren't playing it anymore, then I mean, give more casual players more easier access to the
Yeah.
cards. So, moving on to some Shadow of Valhalla news. This set just released officially this weekend. So we have some short print news.
From Europe and like from the videos from the YouTuber, like this morning or like this weekend, like it's also like this thing is also true in the US as well.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately. So we're going to list off some of these short prints here. So the secret rares, we have Valkyrie
Brunhild, yeah.
I don't know how to say it. Ride of the Valkyries, Mischief of the Time Goddess. Could have told you that was coming. Ninja Grandmaster Saizo, Alistair, the Invoker of Madness.
I mean, it's all predictable.
Yeah.
Brunhild is basically the best one. I believe she's the level 4 one, the only normal summon one. That's good. You add something. Ride, of course. Basically, it's at Mischief. So and Mischief, of course, the famous anime card. So everybody's one of those.
Yeah.
Saizo, you have to short print something from that archetype. And of course, the chase card for now, the Alistair Link.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think Alistair Link is that good, and that I mean, it's good for like invoke deck, but it's a one of at most.
Yeah.
And even if it's short print, if everybody is going to need like one copy, then this card I think is going to go down over time, even if it's short printed.
Yeah. I think this card is a little overhyped at this point. Like, I don't think it's gonna. I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna hold that price that it has right now. But it was very predictable that it was gonna be short printed and that it was gonna be one of the more expensive cards out of the set. Moving on to the super rare short prints, and yes, we have super rare short prints. Invoked Mechaba, Advanced Dark are the short. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mechaba is really the main one. These are like the tier 2 short prints, as in like they are not super short print, but they are in the middle of the pack in terms of shorter prints.
Yeah. And then
and Ash and Invocation.
yeah, which those were pretty predictable as well. Ash especially. I'm getting real. Like, I have Ashes at this point.
we both have Ashes.
So it doesn't really affect me too much, but at the same time, I am getting so tired of this whole Ash Blossom thing. It's like you keep saying you're reprinting it, and you keep saying it's going to be more accessible, and then, like, I'm sorry, and then you just do this, and it's like it's so annoying because and I am annoyed still, even though, like I said, I have my Ashes because I have friends who I'm like still trying to convince to play this game more often. And I know one of the easiest ways I can convince them is to, like, just get them some Ashes and be like, hey, look, here's some super competitive cards that back when you actually played consistently were extremely expensive and no way you are getting them. And now they're accessible to you. I can't do that because these things are $20.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. This is its third printing and it's $20.
It really is.
It drives me insane.
I mean, they can redeem themselves if they were like, okay, not really like redeem themselves in a sense. Like, they can make matters better if they release her as a promo for the tins. But then they also did this to us when they hype it up during the Nat stream, and they were like, yeah, we're releasing Ash, buy it. But then, no, we're not going to release all the quantity of Ash that we're going to into one box.
Yeah.
But we're going to hype it so that you buy the products. And then after that, you're going to buy the Megatins anyway. So we're going to give you the Ashes in there, which is still very scummy. I don't like it at all.
It's so frustrating. I'm really tired of dealing with it, to be honest.
And I mean, this is why I always said, like, if you're competitive in this game, it's almost better to choose a time and just buy your playset, because, like, sure, especially for these cards which are super meta relevant, because if they are secrets and it's going to be a long time when they get a reprint, then you already get the enjoyment of competing and like having the card for your money, and you're going to save money waiting, but then you're not going to have the card in the meantime. So just get the set.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next bit of news, and this is a little less news and more rumor.
It's for fun, discussion for fun.
Yes, we have the rumored ban list for the OCG.
And the Link Variants Pack 2.
Yep. Disclaimer, this is very much unconfirmed.
Don't buy cards. Do not buy cards.
This comes from Reddit, which is never the most reliable source of news. So just look, take this with a huge grain of salt, a couple of grains of salt. Let's go through the ban list first.
Yep.
I'll list off the ban list, and then you can do the link frame stuff.
Sure.
So, newly forbidden, we have MX Saber Invoker and Mega Cannon Soldier, which I literally did not know that was a card until I saw this list.
It's just a brother of the Cannon Soldiers.
Yeah.
Death to all FTK. But the thing is, there's still cards that burns, like Amazoness Archer, which I use in a short time where I played in 30 FTKs, and they're not touching it. I don't know why. But they're hitting Invoker, which gets you the Amazoness Archer. And I honestly think Invoker is not a bad hit at all, since like every format, there's something with this guy that's easy to bring out and just start everything. So
do you think Terratop could come back
if this is banned?
If Invoker is banned?
No, because we still have Needle Fiber.
True.
It's a one-card Needle Fiber.
Fair enough.
No.
Fair enough. I don't know. I always, whenever I think of Terratop, I think that it died for Invoker's sins.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Now we're moving on to Needle Fiber, so fair enough. All right. Newly limited, we have Sky Striker Ace Kagari, Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, Gold Sarcophagus, Ancient Fairy Dragon with an errata, and Level Eater with an errata.
Yeah. Do you want to read off the errata? It's basically like making both of them like for Ancient Fairy Dragon, you can only choose one of the two effect, and for Level Eater is once per turn, and you can't link summon with it if you do use the graveyard effect.
Slightly extreme, but okay, cool.
Both erratas will make both cards like effectively competitively dead.
I think a little less with Ancient Fairy Dragon, but definitely Level Eater. I agree with you. Ancient Fairy could still have some utility. It just wouldn't be as played as it was before. Gold Sark, that's because of
Thunder
Dragons, Sky Strikers. I mean,
Kagari Engage. If this hits actually happen, then the deck's dead.
Yeah, I think this is ultimately going to be the fate of this deck, probably. I think Engage, definitely the one, is going to happen as eventually in the TCG as well, if this, like I said, if this list is even true. And then Kagari makes a lot of sense as well. So moving on to the semi-limits, we have Altergeist. Multi-Faker. It's a different name there. Altergeist Millisseek. Psyframe Lord Omega, because it was limited, correct?
I guess, and it's not doing anything, so sure.
Yeah. Zodiac Rapier, sure.
Slippery slope.
This was the huge red flag for me that that list is not accurate.
We have Rapier to 2, and then
There's no way.
And then we're going to have Broadbow to 1, and then we will have Dryden to 1, and then it's just going back.
Yeah, no, there's no way. Necroface to 2, okay.
Was it hit or something?
I don't know. Tour Guide to 2, interesting.
Actually impactful. Actually quite impactful. Burning Abyss.
Yeah, true. I wouldn't mind that one. And then we have Necros Cycle.
I
Don't know
believe
anything
it
about
was.
Necros.
I believe it was limited, so a boost
Yeah. And then True King's Return.
would be very interesting if that actually happens here.
Yeah. So True King's Return, I mean, look, I like my True Dracos, so that would be pretty cool to see.
Even
come
to
back
2, it would be a huge
yeah,
boost.
to 2. So now Unlimited. This is if this is true, this is just further explanation or further example of how far apart the OCG and TCG are on some things. El Shaddai Construct 3, El Shaddai Winda to 3. I guess it was less. Than,
It was at 2, yeah.
2 before. Alistair the Invoker Unlimited because it was
At 1 right now, I believe. Okay.
Destiny Hero Disc Commander has that
Errata.
errata that makes it terrible. Ash because it was semi.
It was a 2, and it should have never been a 2. I don't know why. It was dumb.
It's random. Fossil Dig, I guess that was from Dinosaur.
Yes, Denglong.
Yeah, sure. And then E-Telly.
Very interesting.
Was E-Telly at 1 there too?
Not sure, but I mean, this would be a huge boost. Like basically, they will have full power Cosmos.
Yeah.
Like Tin Can. Oh, yeah, it could be good, but
I mean, I like E-Telly as a card. It's I don't know. E-Telly is constantly begging to be abused, and I feel like E-Telly is one of those cards that they're always trying to bring back, and then they release something that like, okay, we got to put this back on the list.
this would definitely make Needle Fiber play even more consistent.
Oh yeah, true.
Because
True.
Ghost Ogre is a psychic, and
Yeah.
you can just bring her out.
So do you think Construct is ever coming back in the TCG?
I mean, it should. It's not doing anything,
Yeah.
even for now.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. All right, you want to list off these Link Reigns Pack 2 themes that are going to supposedly get support according to Reddit?
And I'll go speedrun this. Perform Age, Phantom Knights, Speedroid, Predaplan, Melodious, Lunalight, DD, Abyss Actor, Red Dragon Archfiend, Blackwing, Infernities, TG, Chronomaly, Gagaga, Shark, Constellar, Dragoonity, Yangzing, Tellark Knight, and True Draco. I mean, I honestly don't really care too much. So I'm
About any?
yeah.
There's some on this list that make me, again, are kind of red flags here. True Draco?
Like yeah,
what the frick are you going to do with
it hasn't been it has never been an extra deck monster, like an extra deck deck.
Maybe
So
if you
why do you need the link arrow?
Maybe it means more True King / True Draco, and that could be, I guess, but
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
that's such a weird one to me. Red Dragon Archfiend. DDs make sense. I think DDs would be cool. I've never actually played DDs, but I've had friends who have, and it's always been a deck that it's intrigued to me.
super combo heavy.
Yeah, which if anybody knows me, knows that that's my kind of deck. So I don't know. There's some cool ones in there, some ones that I don't care about, and some ones that are just strange. So
Konami's gonna go on a on a trip to have every single link monsters for every archetypes. And while I think it's cool and all, but I don't think it's actually needed.
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for us because
Yeah.
we're not going to get this pack. So
That's also true.
all right, moving on to the OCG metagame. Ty, you want to lead us off in this, as you definitely pay attention a little bit more closely to this than
Yes. Okay. So this metagame report is for both weeks because it was like holiday weeks in Japan and Asia. So they didn't have a lot of tournaments to play, so not a lot of data to cover. So they just combined both weeks. And so out of 51 top performing decks from 8 tournaments, we have Sky Striker still the best deck with 25.5% representation. And closing by is Altergeist, 21.6%. And then we have three like really small represented deck. We have Thunder Dragon at 5.9, and that's still like we knew that from the last report. But then we have two new-ish decks. We have Good Stuff Link, 7.8%, and Junk Doppel, 7.9%. But the thing that surprised me the most is that there's so many rogue. There were so many rogue decks during this time span of 2 weeks. We have 33.3%. One third of the decks that made top cut were rogues. And there's everything. Magician, Trickstar, ABC, Blackwing, Cyber Dragon, Lightsworn, Wind Up FTK, Dinosaur. Like, I don't know what's happening there besides like the usual stuff that we have been seeing.
This is really, really cool to me. I think this looks like a pretty cool format that they're having over there.
It's diverse for sure, but then like you're playing a meta deck and then you're facing a rogue deck that you haven't prepared at all, and then you just lose because you don't know what to do. It would be frustrating, but I kind of see the appeal of a very diverse meta.
See, I understand that argument, and I know there's a lot of people who definitely feel that way, because I remember, what was it, right after the Banlist after Worlds, I think, last year? When we had the Pendulum Magician.
Oh yeah, it was dream for like anything could have topped.
Yeah, it was an insane form, like literally anything, and I really enjoyed that form. I thought it was really fun and cool, but there were a lot of the more hardcore competitive players who were complaining about it because it was like impossible to side. It was, it's a bit of a mess.
Variance plays a much bigger role, and then like luck factor. So basically, they were kind of annoyed because skill wasn't always the biggest factor as it should.
Yeah, I understand that as well. So. But it's interesting. Do you think it's because, like, why do you think that there's so much rogue here? Do you think it's because the two top decks are more control decks?
I think the biggest reason why there's so many rogues in this time zone is because next week, the next report, will have the biggest tournament in China, which is the 8th China National Championship, the NATS. And that would shape up everything. Yeah. So basically, I think people are just testing out what anti-meta-ish, like rogue deck that could actually work really well, and see what's the safest deck for that tournament and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, I could see that.
But yeah, like, do you want to look through the deck list of the two very interesting names, Good Stuff Link and Junk Doppel? Junk Doppel is like, people played it before, so it's not like new, but Good Stuff Link.
Yes. So Good Stuff Link is hilarious to me, because this deck, if you just look at it, I mean, there's some kaijus in there, there's tons and tons of tuners.
Needle fiber that deck.
Yeah, you got your Dandelion, which I guess isn't banned over there.
It's absurd. It's so good.
Triple Mathematician. Your Maxis, your Ibli. Your really powerful tuners like Glow Bulb and stuff like that. This deck is like, you look at it and you're like, what the heck? But it's exactly what you said. It's Needle Fiber Turbo.
Needle Fiber will get you Summon Sorceress. Summon Sorceress will get you probably either Dandelion or something else good from the deck, and then you make Firewall Dragon, and then you do your normal Nightmare combos. End board is still going to be Trigate Colink with actually no, I don't see any Trigate. Huh.
That is interesting.
So basically, this is going to be a Nightmare, a Trigate. There's no Trigate, but there's Extra Link.
Yeah.
Very interesting, huh? They decided not to play.
That's what I've been leaning in World Chalice. Trigate is just, I don't know if it's worth it right now. But yeah, this deck, you just look at it and it's just like, what the frick is this? But then, I mean, Needle Fiber is such a powerful card, which, do you think, is that another, going back to the rumored ban list, is that another red flag for you that Needle Fiber is not on that list?
It's total, like, it has wrapped the meta. It has like rob the meta like so much. I don't think they can ban it anymore. Like sure, you ban it, but then like everything will be new.
Yeah.
Like Sky Striker doesn't have a way to turbo out Moral Sword for OTK anymore. Same with Alter Guys. Same with every single Link decks there. They only know Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is basically all what they summon every single game.
Yeah.
It's like banning like Ash Blossom to us or like draw this format. Like we all like that's what we knew to put in our deck,
Yeah.
and it would just make the meta. It would make the meta very interesting because new deck would emerge from that. That doesn't rely on Needle Fiber, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Needle Fiber.
Look, I mean, Needle Fiber
I
is so
like Needle
prominent
Fiber.
that Junk Doppel. And I know you said like that it's been like it's not necessarily new, but that's just to see Junk Doppel in the top cut of anything is incredible to me in 2018.
Yeah.
Needle Fiber.
This deck turbos out Blazar like nothing, and you know Blazar, it's
Oh yeah.
absurdly powerful if you can get it out.
Yeah. So, is there anything else in this OCG report that you really want to talk about? Any tech choices in here?
I mean, Pankratops has submerged as basically a main 2-ups in every side X. It's too good.
Yeah.
The Dino Wrestler one just pops one.
Yeah.
Special itself. It's too good. And then it's weird because the two main decks are just making their deck to fight each other. So you see main deck Clara now to out Secret Village, and like you see Spell and Trap Hate in the main like Twin Twister, Spell and Trap Hate in the side, 3 copy of Typhoon, MST, all for Outer Guys. Outer Guys is facing more Outer Guys, so they are putting out Anti-Spell Fragrance in the main deck because it's worthless against in a mirror match. So they are focusing more on the Secret Village route. And a cool tech choice that people are using is Cyberstein in like Outer Guys because it's at 1. And for some of you who didn't play like Yu-Gi-Oh, it's literally said pay 5,000 life point, special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck. No restriction, nothing. And there are some very powerful fusion, like Last Warrior. You can normal summon, you can set, you can special summon, or Exterior. You can play spell or trap cards. It's quite neat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially for a deck that doesn't need a lot of extra deck slot.
True.
But we will never get Cyberstein.
No, that's one that I could definitely never. They're all looking at these OCG lists also kind of just puts me in a weird like seeing 2 Judgment and it's just a strange thing.
Yeah, it's such a different game from us.
It's crazy. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up our discussion on the OCG metagame. So we are going to move on to Ty's sleeper card of the week. Ty, what do you got for us this week? In the last episode, which happened a little bit ago.
Magical Mid Brackerfield.
You are definitely
Did I
right
tell
there.
you? Did I tell everybody? I told everybody that card's going to be insane. And that card was insane.
Yep. So what do you got for us this time?
It's a new Link monster from Cybernetic Horizon. The name is Reproducus. It's a Link 2 dinosaur Earth. Its attack is 800, but we don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's all generic, 2 monsters, and its Link arrow is up and down, so quite good. Its effect, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use this effect of Reproducus once per turn, so only one of you can choose only one of the 2. Declare one monster type. All face-up monsters this card points to become that type until the end of the turn. Or declare one attribute. All face-up monsters this card points to become that attribute until the end of this turn. So you can make any monster that it points to either a type you want or an attribute you want. And this card uses is actually quite wide because, first of all, the attribute change, you definitely have to think about choking Dino. Because you can make the baby not earth anymore and fire or water to resolve your choking from your hand. So already, like we're not missing Lethal Sachem anymore, right?
I still miss it. Come back, please.
Not only that, we also have some niche in some attribute decks. I'm sure there are more interaction, but like Choking Dinos, I think is like the biggest one right now. And for the monster type, I told people at Locals, and I told you, this card is the key reason why any 3 monster now can become Swarm and Sorceress. Because you just make this and have a monster point to it, you declare Dinosaur, and you have 2 monster with the same type for Link 3, and you can make Summon Sorceress. And we all know Summon Sorceress. She is absurdly good.
It's gonna get banned one day.
One day.
One day.
So,
I really like this card. The thing that got me thinking about it definitely was when you told me about the True King playability there, because I really like that deck. So I might be testing that out pretty soon. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, pro tip. For ABC lovers, especially the Brilliant Fusion version, you can... So let's say you open Predaplan and a discard. So you do that, you get your Brilliant Fusion, you don't make Invoker, you Brilliant Fusion, you send a piece, and Garnet, of course, or whatever Gem Knights you're playing. So you get the Gem Knight Seraphinite. So you only need 1 piece from your hand. You would summon that piece with the extra normal summon of Seraphinite. You make Seraphinite with one of the Predaplans become discard. You have to have one of the Predaplans in one of the extra monster zone. So that Ripodocus would point to that Predaplan, make summon Sorceress, and then you also have to summon the piece from your hand to the zone that Summon Sorceress is going to point to.
Yeah.
You target that piece, and then you bring out the last piece from your deck. You can do some link stuff if you want, but basically you have your Buster turn 1, which is pretty nice.
All right, moving on, we're going to talk about some of the TCG metagame and maybe some Banlist stuff. All right, so we just recently had the ARG Invitational, which, if you don't know, is basically nationals for the ARG. It's ARG's biggest event. And the top 32, let's go through it here. We have 10 Goki decks, 6 Sky Striker, pure Sky Striker, 4 Trickstar Sky Striker, 4 Altergeist, 3 True Draco, interesting, 1 60-card Hero Goki, 1 Crusadia, 1 Dinosaur, 1 Shiranui, and 1 Burning Abyss. The first thing that I kind of see, and it's something we have kind of seen a little bit of a trend recently, is that Sky Striker, the pure version, is kind of taking more slots than what used to be the much more popular version. Trickstar Sky Striker. Is this solely because of some of the new cards we've gotten?
Definitely. Boros Dragon is insane.
I have seen
it
him
makes
do
the
some
deck
insane things.
so good. The Ivli combo immediately 2-drop from the deck and makes you your Boros Sword, and you can just OTK turn 2 or turn 3 depending on the state of the game. It just gives Sky Striker a way to push for game, not even for damage, just for game immediately. And frankly, it has been amazing. Hayate is also a big addition to the deck because it helps you going second, just immediately get into engage with attacking with it and set engage, and then you can go Kakari and add it back. So definitely the deck there's only like 1 official archetype support card in Hayate, but then the outside support in Boros Sword definitely take this deck into a new height.
Yeah, it's insane. I've seen it. I've played against it. It is freaking crazy.
It's super resilient also.
It gives a control deck that doesn't die in Sky Strikers a way to easily have access to an OTK with Boros. It's crazy. That deck is insane, and if it doesn't get hit as much on the next list and everything else does, we could be entering into a Sky Striker dominant meta.
Yes.
So, but I do want to talk, before we talk about some of that ban list stuff, I do want to talk a little bit about some of these rogue decks that took some spots here. Burning Abyss, no surprise there. Dinosaur, a little surprising, but not
The
really.
choking version.
Yeah, a little surprising, not really. Crusadia is interesting.
The decks has some 2-card combos, both going first and going second, really strong.
Yeah,
And you can immediately OTK with the going second version. Like, it's super consistent.
yeah. It's just nobody was talking about this deck, Rico. So it's interesting that it has turned out to be pretty decent. I mean, it's not like amazing or anything.
It's super resilient to hand
Yeah.
traps also because it can chain mass like World Chalice also.
Yeah.
And I mean, it has a searchable quick play spell card that made your card unaffected by everything, by card effect. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then True Draco, I'm always interested in that. So
True Draco is kind of gaining momentum because they have a good matchup against basically everything. Since Goki, the new addition to the hand trap lineup of just impermanence if you're playing the Demise version, which is definitely the best version, is 2 Ghost Ogre, because you can just normal the Ghost Ogre and then play Demise, and Ghost Ogre will still be like it. You can still use its effect on the field. And I mean, if they waste a battle phase to get rid of that Ghost Ogre, then you probably win that game.
yeah,
You already won the game.
true. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff going on at the ARG. Anything else from the ARG you want to talk about?
I mean, Goki's still dominant because it's easily still the best deck of the format.
It's crazy. And one thing I do want to say about Goki, and this can kind of lead us into our ban list discussion. I'm playing this deck at the moment. I just topped our locals with this deck. I am so tired of this deck. It's so boring.
Yeah, the combo doesn't actually changes.
It's so boring.
Everything leads you to a board.
It's just I love combo decks. I much prefer playing World Chalice because 9 out of 10 times I have to think a lot more playing World Chalice than I do with Goki. It is the most mindless deck I've ever played, much more than even True Draco, which is what people refer to as a helmet deck where you don't have to do anything. This deck is so boring. I'm so tired of it.
Make Invoker,
Win.
detach response, no response game.
So I am ready for this deck to go. Even though I'm playing the deck, I am shamelessly playing the deck. I don't care. It's good. It wins, but it's boring.
The thing is that it's so resilient to hand traps also, especially with the tech. Like mid-breaker feel like, yeah, we played yesterday at the final match and then like I opened 2 hand traps and it didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Shout outs to you for opening Terror Top twice in a row.
Shout outs to you for telling me to play Magical Midbreaker. Anyway, so yeah, that being said, let's get into this ban list a little bit and what we're kind of expecting / hoping for from this ban list.
Before that,
Yeah.
like we all know the black sheep, I guess. Either Firewall or Maxi. Basically, a stop to special summoning combo decks.
Yeah.
Do you think Sky Striker would be the consensus top deck if we're in the world without Firewall or we have 3 Maxis?
I think it would basically, it's basically going to revert, not totally what the OCG is because obviously they have Needle Fiber and all that, but it's essentially going to be those top 2 decks are going to be the same. I think it's Sky Striker and Altergeist. And when we were talking about like what we're going to talk about today, and we mentioned this topic, the first deck I thought of was Altergeist. Now, Sky Striker is definitely the obvious choice, but I think Sky Striker has potential to be hit on the ban list too. Still, even if it's not destroyed, it could get hurt a little bit. And Altergeist probably is not going to get touched. So I think those decks could kind of, like, if Sky Striker goes down a little bit and Goki gets destroyed, it ultimately becomes Altergeist and Sky Striker. And I think that's the meta we're staring down the barrel of because one way or another, they will destroy Goki on this list. They have to.
It's mindless and it's too strong.
No, it's mindless. It's this deck is ridiculous, and it is a perfect example of what people complain about with this game.
Okay, ranting. Like, how perfect was my opening game too? And I opened. I have to play safe. I opened double anchor and impermanence, and you still made a huge board because you opened twin twister. And it's a game, and it doesn't prove anything. But the thing is that going second, the deck is still crazy strong.
Yeah.
Because you have all the side deck option to like pop spy and trap card and just do your stuff. And you don't even need to go full combo. You can just play like tempo. You play Super X twist combo. That's like strong, very strong. 37, right? 34 attack.
Yeah.
So good. And it floats. So you never are going to lose in the resource war.
Yeah.
And the deck is just too good.
Yeah, they have to hit it, and once they do, I am, depending on how bad they hit Sky Strikers, it all depends on that, but I think we are going into an Altergeist Sky Striker format.
And when it's then, I'm pretty sure you can play yugioh and enjoy it.
Yeah, I probably will, and unless I decide I'm going to play like
Another
True
combo
Kings
deck that comes up.
Exactly.
Hey, that's my
Rochelles.
sleeper deck, but we're going to go with that.
Yeah, so...
Hey, actually, it's a good time to go into that. My sleeper deck
Yeah.
of the next format is True King Dino. Because,
Really? Yeah.
because of, as I said before, the Reaper Dogus, which make your resolving popping baby way more consistent. You have Lost World, and Hornet Drones is an amazing card. Because if you open like a baby, Lost World, and drones, you can have like a full board. And also the ability to make both of VFD and Naturia Beast is going to be very valuable in the next format, because Sky Striker with Naturia Beast and VFD Choking of all calamities is just way too good against basically every deck.
Yeah.
So I definitely think the deck has a lot of potential.
Definitely. I could see that as well. One deck that I would bring up here is, I'm just thinking of like, we're looking at Sky Strikers, which is a deck that kind of doesn't die, and we have Altergeist, which is a very control deck as well. These decks kind of remind me of a deck like Burning Abyss. I could see Burning Abyss kind of rising up, taking a lot more spots than we've been seeing. Burning Abyss, it's always going to be floating around, taking 1 or 2 spots in Top Cut, but I could see Burning Abyss taking even more moving forward, because it's
Burning Abyss.
It's Burning Abyss.
Dante's never dies.
And if we have a not as ridiculous top deck, then, it leaves the door open for a deck
it took
Yeah.
It took
I'm
UK
just saying.
Nats in 2018.
Which is crazy. I'm just saying. And then all it takes is for them to release Cherubini whenever they decide to do that, and then the deck gets even crazier. So, I don't know. It's definitely an option. And we are talking pre-Soul Fusion, so...
Thunder Dragon,
Dragons is what I'm looking for. That's
Thunder Dragon.
That once Soul Fusion comes out, I don't care what I'm playing at the moment. I'm gonna be playing Thunder Dragons. I'll find a way to trade into that deck, buy into it. I don't care. I'm playing that deck. So I cannot wait for that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about. We've been teasing the ban list discussion.
Yes.
Let's get into it. All right. Which side of things are you on? Because you mentioned the choice before: Firewall to 0 or Maxi to 3. Which side of that choice are you on?
I don't like banning cards, so I would say Maxi to 3.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if it's not 2/3, then Firewall has to be 0. Like, there's no... You cannot not hit Firewall if there's no Maxi.
Yeah.
And even if we have 3 Maxis, like not drawing it, you could... It's Firewall would still be the same. But it would just bring more balance to the game. So, yeah, the elephant in the room, banning Firewall.
Yeah.
You talk about Phoenix Blade, banning Phoenix Blade as well.
Yeah, I think that's the card that lets Goki plus a ridiculous amount while they're making their board. That, and the Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami, especially in the TCG, has a history of banning these kind of cards that are not directly the problem, but are, just kind of they're assisting the problem
Yeah.
instead of banning the actual problem. And I think that it's a very, very Konami thing to ban this card. And they also have a history that I don't think is necessarily the worst thing in the world of banning cards that are just free discard fodder. So, and it's a free recurring discard fodder. Just get it out of the game. It's not used how it's meant to be used anyway. Just,
I mean, plus 300 attacks, is that how it's actually going to be used?
No, I know. But it's an old card that wasn't designed with that kind, with
Yes.
what it's.
I get your point for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't designed with what it's being used for in mind. Just remove it from the game. I don't see it's not worth erratating it or anything. Just get it out of here.
Actually, for Goki, I would rather keep that and, okay, this might sound controversial, but banning rematch?
I have been on the rematch needs to go train.
Because
rematch is an insane card, by
like,
the way.
sure, you don't actually need it to do the full combo, but rematch is actually the cards that lets you play through all hand traps.
Yes.
And shout out to my boy Quinn. I mean, he
Yeah.
played a Goki deck back when we have no nightmares, no links. When he played a Goki Zokin version to get out Void Ogre Dragon or Crystal Wing. And what's the Black Wing tuners that's banned? I'm blanking on it.
Go for
Gofu, yeah, he played it with Gofu, so that's his level 5 tuner. He will special risk, he will get away to get Riscorpio out, and he would make Zokin to get out Void Ogre Dragon. Like, he played then, and then I played him, and then he played rematch. I read it, and I was like, that's so broken. I swear, I told it to him then, right in the match. That's so broken. And yeah, it just turned
like double monster reborn. It's terrible. This card is so stupid, and nobody I swear I've been saying this for months that rematch is the correct, or is at least at the time when I was saying that was the correct hit before we had summon sorceress and all that, where you can kind of do the full combo without it. That card is insane, and I definitely am on the same page with you there. For the record, I am on the 3 Maxi side of things.
Okay.
I think Maxi is... It technically doesn't shut you out of the turn. I know everybody likes to say that, but it technically doesn't. You have a choice. So...
And with it being a 3, you have a conscious choice of whether do
Exactly.
I want to start my push or not.
Yeah, exactly. So I think in terms of the health of the game, I think Maxi is actually healthy for the game. So I'm on that side of things.
Okay, so that's Goki.
Yeah.
You said that Sky Striker would get hit in some way, but no bans, right? I don't think they're going to straight up ban any cards. So the next good deck is Trickstar Sky Striker. Do you think anything is going to get banned? Nothing too worrying to ban. Like Reincarnation, like 1 copy, I think is fine.
I think Reincarnation's going. I mean, if you want to
Gone?
count, no, I don't think it's gone.
Oh, okay.
But I really hate that card, so I wish it would be gone, but I don't think it will be. If you want to count, this technically isn't of that deck, but it's used in a
Oh,
degenerate.
Scapegoat?
Yes.
Draw?
I think.
Okay.
I
Draw.
think Droll Knockbird is going to get banned,
I'm actually very fine with that. It's
and I
a
want
pure
it to.
It's kind of
Yeah.
designed kind of dumb.
Yeah. That one literally shuts you out of the turn.
But also there's some drawback as you have to chain it
True.
to a draw or to a search.
Yeah. I don't think it should go to 1. I think that just becomes like stupid. Like when's Maxi was at 1? Like
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. Scapegoat, I do think I think
1.
is going to go to 1.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those sacky one-of spell cards like a Soul Charge,
So yeah. Scapegoat to 1. Hey,
yeah.
Soul Charge to 0.
Maybe?
It's that win button that
Yeah, that's true.
I mean a lot of decks can use.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they've done things like that out of the blue before. I don't know. It's interesting. Nobody's really talking about that card, so that could be a shocking one.
So definitely Reincarnation to
yeah,
1.
Reincarnation to
Drone,
1.
hopefully get hit in some way.
Yeah.
Scapegoat.
I really hope that they don't hit drones because I like that card, but I completely understand why.
That card's pretty insane.
It's crazy. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I mean, there's some other things here and there that I think could probably go, but those are the main ones. I think off the ban list is the more interesting discussion because
there's literally like a lot of cards you can choose.
We won't go with the basic ones that everyone knows because everyone knows and talks about them.
I don't want Stratos to 3. No.
You have been on this train. Why do you hate Stratos
I don't
so
even
much?
want Stratos back.
Why?
It's not a once per turn. Yeah, it's bad heroes doing nothing, but I don't know. It's the design of the card is bad because it's not like it continuously gives you resources, and I know like there would be like no, I mean it can create loops, but like I hate Stratos. Okay, let's just say that. Let's just say that. I don't like it. It's a meme. I don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm going to say Litho, but you'll argue that all day. So.
I mean, I like it too. I like Tricking Dino too, but it's really not healthy.
What do you want? Because you've been shooting down everything. So what do you want?
I mean, Construct can go back for sure. Someone brought this back to me, but Excited Knight.
Yeah. That could be interesting because, these rank 4 toolbox cards and that, they're not as, they're inherently not as good anymore because of Link Summoning in Master Rule 4. So, but, that's a crazy card. There was a lot of rumors before.
What would it do against a Nightmare board?
True. That's true.
It can be a preventative measure. Summon it out and then like wait till your opponents have more resources.
But is that good enough? Yeah.
It's quick play, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. There's endless amount. I
Construct, of course, the easy one to get out.
That to me is always this off the ban list or bringing it back to 1 or anything like that is always the most interesting and exciting part of a ban list.
But like I feel like they're just dragging out until like they have a reason to get it out for money. I don't want to say that, but like
it's true.
Most of the time it's like that.
Yeah. But there's also there's times when they what ban list was that when they brought Judgment back and
Judgment and Reborn.
And
I think
Reborn
it's like
back, and there are times when they just decide, screw it, let's just bring everything back.
No, but there's a reason.
Yeah,
Lost Art.
True.
For Reborn.
But what about
nothing for Judgment though? But
yeah, I think there are times when they just say, hey, let's try this, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Snatch Steel back to 1 for like 1 format, and then it was like too good.
Yeah, no.
No targeting, just thank you.
Equip. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's I could see them. It's been a while since that list, so I could see them kind of experimenting with something weird again.
So let's end this with our wish list to come back. Do you want to go? Do you have a card? I can already guess your card.
It's Litho.
That or Painful Choice. Be honest.
Look,
be honest. Be
if
honest.
we're going absolutely crazy, then yeah, Painful Choice.
Litho is not crazy?
It's not as crazy as Painful
That's
Choice.
True. That's true.
Painful Choice is the most ridiculous card they've ever printed. One of the most ridiculous cards they've ever printed. So yes, I would play so many decks of Painful Choice. Yes, so sure. If we're going that crazy, then Painful Choice.
Okay,
yeah,
so
sure.
Okay, sensible. Okay, Litho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And in the middle, Grass.
In the middle, Grass. Snow to 1?
Sure. I would put Snow to 1 for Grass at 3.
Snow to 0?
I still might do it, to be honest. I love Grass.
I can respect that.
What about you?
Broken Tier. I would say something along the line of Royal Oppression.
Okay.
I'm having a transition phase from combo decks to control decks.
Yeah.
I'm really liking Pure Sky Striker. So Royal Oppression is just a it's a more fair Vanity's Fiend because both player can use it. So I think it's
Yeah.
all right, I guess, but not really. For the middle pack that I want to come back, I love the Zodiac concept as well as Zodiac being an engine. So I would definitely like Dryden to be at 1.
Just tried it.
Just Dryden.
Yeah.
Because Rodvo is still too strong. It can search anything. But Dryden is like, it's still good. A quick play pop is still good, but then like it's not unfair. And with Radpier as the stronger point of the deck being as 1, like people can enjoy using a barrage, just like barrage engine to pop stuff, and then just get a Dryden for the pop.
Yeah.
More incentive to play it, I guess.
Yeah. That's true. That's fair. That's fair. Dryden is a card that I really hated that card, but without everything that supports it, it's not as crazy. So yeah, I agree with you. What about? Do you have anything else or no?
Shout outs to Heavy Feather Duster, Heavy Storm. Either one of them
Storm,
could
never.
be really good.
Heavy Storm,
yes,
never.
but
Feather
Duster.
Duster is much more likely than that. Also, two others that I do want to really quickly mention, and I'm curious to see if you agree with me. With Astrograph completely still banned, could we get double Iris
Oh yeah.
or Joker, if not both, to 1 at least?
Not. I'll be fine with Iris at 1 if Electromite is also going to 1. Which we missed that because I think Pendulum is still too strong. I actually would want Electromite to go to 1 next Banlist.
Interesting.
Just
I
it's still too strong of a deck.
it's still good, but if you look at that ARG list, is Pendulum anywhere to be found on it?
No, but the card is still very.
Yeah, I guess.
But yes, Joker can come back
Yeah.
to 1, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was at one. Anyway.
I hate the whole pendulum mechanic. I hate how 1 card completely kills the mechanic, anti-spell fragrance.
Yeah.
The mechanic is just inherently unbalanced in some kind of way.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, I think that pretty much wraps up our discussion here. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We will be back hopefully next week. We'll try to be a little bit more consistent with this.
School starting, but we'll be here.
Yes. So that is what's going on, and thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel. We'll hopefully have some videos up there by the time this goes up. And yeah, do you have anything else you want to say before we sign out?
Stay safe. Yeah.
I hope that all of your favorite decks become great.
Don't get Twin Twister.
Fair enough. All right. Peace out, guys.